Good afternoon and welcome to our lesson today, where I just wanted us to give a summary of what we've been able to capture in the course of this week. Okay, so basically we were able to manage, or we were able to talk about discipline, where we said discipline is an internal force which prompts an individual or a group to observe organizational rules, regulations, and procedures that are deemed necessary for the smooth running of an organization. So discipline is something that we get to do, in an organization, not because it's a choice, but because it is something that has been set up by an organization for us to be able to behave, or for us to be able to manage ourselves in a certain manner. Okay, so discipline is quite very important. So what are some of the reasons, or what are some of the importance of discipline? So we say discipline improves efficiency and improves the quality of production. When people are disciplined, they are able to be at the right time, at the right place. Okay, because they are punctual, because they know what is expected of them, and because they do what is expected of them, and therefore they're able to help an organization to be able to meet its objectives. Okay, we also say discipline develops the employee a spirit of tolerance, self-control, and the ability to adjust personal life to renaissance with group values. So when talk about discipline, they're only telling us when you're disciplined, you're also able to have self-control. Now, self-control is where there's certain things that you cannot do. Okay, we also say discipline provides the organization with a sense of identity and direction consistent with its economic, social, and moral values. So when a company or an organization is disciplined, it's able to be identified. An organization is able to stand out, when they have these procedures, or when they have these policies that make their employee to behave in a certain manner. Okay, so we've got different types of discipline. We say we've got the minor or the major infractions. So minor just refer to the little or no harm to the organization or its members. Okay, these are some of the issues or cases which have got no much impact in an organization. We also have got major. Now, major means it has an implication in the organization. We have intolerable offenses. Intolerable offenses means this is a category of discipline which are usually very severe. These are things that are unacceptable. Okay, and therefore they have got heavy punishment. Okay, when you behave in a certain manner, or when you have discipline cases that revolve around intolerable, it means these are cases that would require harsh actions, okay, or strict disciplinary measures. So we're also able to look at causes of indiscipline. What is it that happens that employees behave the way they do? One of it is, we say it is the personality. Personality, this is now very personal. So sometimes when a person lacks the ability to understand why certain actions are expected or rejected by the organization, these people could also behave in a manner and frequently find themselves with problems with an organization. Sometimes some people levels of understanding, could be quite of a challenge, and they don't understand why they're subjected to those kind of procedures or policies that revolve around the way the organization is run. So what do they do? Yeah, because they're not able to, comprehend. They behave in a certain manner, and by so doing, they have problems with the organization. We also say the other one is intelligence and knowledge. Yeah. Now, this is where a scenario whereby sometimes somebody might not be very knowledgeable about certain things. Yeah. And as a result, their level of thinking or the way they understand things could be perceived to be, somebody would take them to be people who don't have the IQ, yeah, or their mental faculties are unlikely to calculate the consequences of their issues. Yeah. This somebody, let me give you an example. Maybe you might find somebody not because he's dumb, but maybe the level of maybe his education, yeah, affects also his reasoning capacity. So this person will behave in a certain manner, and from this, they're able to have indiscipline issues. We also say job maladjustment. Yeah. This is now when somebody is placed in a wrong job. You know, you are supposed to perform these duties, but what happens? You don't. Okay. Instead, you're given some jobs that you're not very happy with. So what happens is that as a result of you performing your duties, yeah, you are not able to perform it effectively because you're placed in the wrong job. Yeah, of course, we've got communication, supervision. Now, supervision as a cause means that sometimes at lower cadres of the organization, close supervision is necessary to ensure compliance with established code of conduct. Okay. Yeah. So therefore, sometimes this supervision, or there's a person who is supervising you, sometimes they don't have all the time to keep following you, and sometimes people need to be followed up. So when they're not followed up, they are not also able to perform. And so if they're not able to perform, they have issues to do with discipline. Yeah, so we've got different causes of discipline, which actually I've explained in a video that I've also shared. Okay. Then, of course, we've got the principles. Yeah. These are the guidelines that make it possible, or that we'll need to do to ensure that you've got good disciplinary measures. So there are some of the measures that we need to perform or to undertake in an organization to ensure that we've got no issues with indiscipline. One of it is, we say, we've got positive and negative discipline. Yeah. So we say positive discipline contrasts with negative discipline, in which people are induced to comply through threats or penalties. Yeah. Whereas negative discipline should only be reserved for those who do not respond to positive disciplinary approaches. Yeah. So we also have got involvement. Yeah. Involvement means when you're setting up these rules and regulations, ensure that you involve the parties concerned. Yeah. Don't just set out the rules on your own. Yeah. Engage the people who will be subjected to these measures. Okay. We also talk about reviewing. When we talk about reviewing, we are saying that these rules and regulations that have been set also would need to be reviewed. Yeah. With time. Yeah. Don't have rules and regulations that were set a long time ago. Yeah. Have the responsibility of reviewing them oftenly. Okay. Then we also need to look at the communication as a principle, where we say standards of behavior and the penalties for violation should be clearly stated in advance. Yeah. So we are trying to be here, they're telling us that whatever policies, whatever procedures that we need to follow, this information should be made available, yeah, so that when somebody behaves in a certain manner, they're able to be referred to, yeah, not a scenario whereby somebody didn't know about these issues and now they've happened. They're gonna say, oh, we didn't know that when you do this is what should happen. So this information ought to have been communicated to the relevant staff, yeah. Also, you're being told about the timing. It is important to take disciplinary action promptly when the offense is still raw, yeah. Don't wait for long before you take up disciplinary action, yeah. If something has just happened, take up that disciplinary measure immediately, yeah. We also talk about the example. The supervisor should personally observe and exhibit high standard of discipline, yeah. You know, you are a supervisor, you're supposed to be the role model, okay. People should look upon you, so you need to be lead by example, yeah. So you can't be saying when you do this whereas you do it, yeah. So you should be the role model, okay. So what are some of the application of disciplinary measures? So how do we apply disciplinary measures? It's either through informal warning. Informal is where you tell somebody via words, you know, via spoken words, yeah. Maybe you tell somebody, I have noticed you've been coming to work late, okay. So is it possible for you to try and adjust your timing? You know, you just tell them informally, okay. Then of course the formal warning is where there's a written document, yeah, maybe where you are told to explain, yeah, circumstances or why disciplinary action should not be taken against you, okay. Then of course you've got the transfer or suspension. We say when the offense is minor but not too serious, the employee may be transferred geographically or rotational. This measure would be in addition to the warning, yeah. So sometimes you don't need to dismiss an employee. Instead, maybe you might suspend them or transfer them to a different location or to a different department. Of course, you've got dismissal. Now, dismissal is whereby your services are terminated, yeah, or where you are sacked, okay, yeah. So basically discipline or disciplinary issues are very common in an organization. However, how we manage them, yeah, how we manage them or how we conduct ourselves as employees should be able to help us to avoid issues that might bring us problem, okay. So basically disciplinary is very important, and I'm sure even for some of us who are working, yeah, you've got certain code of ethics, yeah, or what is expected. You know, you're supposed to be at work by 8 o'clock until 5 o'clock, yeah. In the absence, you know, sometimes maybe in a scenario where you're not able to come to work, you need to report to your supervisor, yeah. In case you have issues or you're performing your duty, you need to inform the concerned party, yeah. In case you have an issue to do with some, you know, there are set up protocols on what needs to be done in case you have a problem. Therefore, you have no room for indiscipline. Okay, so this is quite important, and I hope with those few remarks I have made myself clear. And in case you have any issues that you want to clarify, please feel free to contact me and I'll be able to help you accordingly. Otherwise, I wish you guys a very nice afternoon. Bye for now.